Bank Premier League next Saturday from 11:15. Right now though, Inverness Cali v Hearts.
These are critical times for everyone concerned at Hearts. The clock is ticking on the club with significant tax bills outstanding. If an agreement is not struck with the revenue, outright closure is a possibility. Fans have been asked to dig deep or risk seeing their team go out of existence. Under this black cloud, the Hearts players must carry on with their SPL duties, but their league form is not good, with only one victory in their last 5 games. Manager John McGlynn must find a way to lift his team. Picking up points has to remain a priority, especially with the threat of administration looming. This lunchtime, Hearts have travelled up to the Highlands to face Inverness in the Clydesdale Bank SPL, and it's live on ESPN. The contrast between the two clubs could not be greater. Thistle are the SPL's form side. Terry Butcher's team have not lost a match in 2 months. They are undefeated in their last 9 games in all competitions and are the leading scorers in Scotland's top flight. If you want goals, this is the team to watch. The SPL table looks good for Inverness. They are in 3rd place behind Celtic and Hibs, and a win today, they would go level on points at the top. It's a less than healthy picture for Hearts though, who are down in 10th position with only St Mirren and Dundee below them. Good morning, welcome along. It's been a week of contrasting fortunes again in Scotland, with Celtic recording one of their greatest ever victories and then Hearts being hit with another winding up order. Lots to discuss then with Craig Burley and the former Hearts player Craig Gordon. And we'll start with you, Craig, because of course you are the former Jambo, a Hearts fan as well. How concerned are you?
I'm very concerned. You know, the headlines that have been coming out over the last few days are very worrying. The numbers that we're talking are big numbers, and it really is a time now for the fans to come forward and back the club. I wouldn't want to impress too much on people the share offer, but just to come along to the games, come to Tynecastle, the club really needs it, and they need it now. It's
vitally important. Who do you blame, Craig, for this mess?
Well, that's about the easiest question I think I'm going to have to answer all day. I mean, I said at the time when Vladimir Romanov came into Hearts Football Club 6 or 7 years ago, sat in the bus with the supporters and the scarves and promising the world, I said this potentially could end in disaster. And unfortunately, it's looking potentially as if it could go that way at the moment. So Romanov ultimately has full responsibility as owner of this football club. The situation he's got himself in, Hearts have got themselves in, and Romanov's got himself in, is a predicament, as Craig says. It's a real worry for everybody, fans, players, and almost just as importantly, the league itself. We've lost Rangers already, cannot afford to lose another club.
Yeah, and your old friend Paul Hartley said this week he thinks that Romanov effectively is holding the fans to ransom here. Do you go along with that?
It's a difficult one to answer that. I think what the Hearts fans must do is they must take this at face value. They can't afford to take that chance that maybe it is a money-making scheme. I don't think it is. I don't think Hearts fans will take that chance. They have to unite now. They have to get the spirit that they had last May when they won the Cup and carry that forward and really back this club at the hour it needs at the moment.
Yeah. Well, the difficulty is here, just briefly, the difficulty is that they're pulling the heartstrings, if you excuse the pun, of the supporters, because the supporters will always be there. Vladimir Romanov will not always be there. And what he's saying to them is, put some more money in. You need to put it in, because I'm not, to save this club. But all that's going to do, in my opinion, is put a little sticking plaster on a huge gaping wound that's bleeding and bleeding. And who's to say if these guys that were in a recession, hard-earned cash, if they put it up 3, 4, 5 or 6 months' time, is he going to come back again and say, listen, HMRC back again, I'm not putting any more money in. If you want to save your club, you've got to do it all over again.
It's a crucial point. We'll come back to that. First of all, though, let's get the team news from Derek Ray. And also, he was at a meeting with a delegation from Hearts and Inverness last night. So, Derek, bring us up to speed.
Yes, it was a fascinating meeting, Darren. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's have a look at the Inverness Caledonian Thistle side to begin with. Now, they've named the same team in 4 successive matches, but not today. One enforced change for Terry Butcher. He must do without ankle injury victim Ross Draper. Back into the side comes club captain Richie Foran, a substitute in the last couple of games. Hearts manager John McGlynn hands a rare start to 19-year-old Jason Holt. He played under McGlynn on loan at Wraith Rovers last season. Ryan Stevenson has recovered from concussion. John Sutton and the injured Scott Robinson drop out of the team that went down to Dundee. Now, back to that meeting. It took place here in Inverness last night, and it involved senior Hearts officials and Hearts supporters, mostly Inverness-based Hearts supporters, but a few who, of course, have come up to the game today. Now, the crux of the matter is that there is a shortfall here of around £2 million. It's basic arithmetic. If you spend £8 million, you only take in £6 million, there's going to be a problem. And it's a ticking time bomb now with the HMRC demand for £450,000. That's due to unpaid PAYE and VAT. And so Hearts supporters are being asked to cough up. Now, if you are a Hearts fan, it's a legitimate question at the moment. If you invest in the share issue, where exactly is your money going? ESPN's Ailey Barber, after the meeting broke up, put that question and a few more to Hearts director Sergejus Fedotovas.
The money is going to support the business of the club, to support the future of the club. And, you know, we need to deal with a short-term issue in order to secure the long-term future for the club. And there are no news. There is nothing new apart from that. You know, we've been served with a petition, but this is a part of the cause that the club needs to face. And we've been working. We've been generating our revenues. We've been cutting costs. We've been trying to run the club as much tight as possible. But you know, in order we still be able to produce good results, good football, provide enjoyment, we need investment. And we're asking fans, we're asking supporters to step in and help us out in this situation.
Is it fair to ask the fans? Why have you had to ask them now?
Well, you know, otherwise, possibly other solutions are available. You know, become a small club and be forgotten by numbers of people. But I believe that's not what they want. They want a big club. And that's why they're taking a decision to step up and help and support and invest.
You're here tonight to address the fans, but Romanov isn't. Where's he? Why is he not here to answer to the supporters tonight?
I'm a director at the club. I'm the one who should answer the fans. And Romanov, he's a shareholder, he's an owner. And basically, he's the one that has bankrolled this club for a number of years and, you know, taking care pretty much of quite a lot of the things. And I think to the extent that we must be grateful to him.
What happens if the money isn't raised? How real is the threat that the St Mirren game could be the last one for Hearts?
Well, the threat is real. The threat is real. And unfortunately, the situation is serious. But as I said, our confidence is high. We've seen really high numbers of people accepting is a serious situation and stepping up, helping the club. But we need to keep that running until the day that we see the club to safety.
There is so much to discuss here. Derek Ray remains with us. Stephen Craigan standing by pitch side as well. Derek, let me come back to you. And the club said this is not scaremongering. You heard what Fedotovas had to say there. Do you really believe that there's no way Romanov is going to come back in and bail out the club if they need it? It literally is down to the fans now.
Well, I think the fans are being put in a very difficult position. I must say, Darryl, if I were a Hearts supporter, if I cared deeply about that football club, I think I might feel compelled at the moment to help, even in a very small way, because it's being put on the Hearts supporters. You don't want to have that in your conscience, that somehow you were asleep at the wheel when this happened. But at the same time, there's been a bit of a mixed message, you know, from Sergejus Fedotovas and senior Hearts officials, in my opinion. At the meeting last night, at one point he spoke about Vladimir Romanov possibly coming in to help, but he wasn't quite sure, but that might happen. But then it would be a loan, it would have to be paid back. back. The bottom line is the fans are being asked to dip into their wallets at this very difficult time of year, with Christmas, of course, just around the corner. I have heard that the attendance figure for the St Mirren game will likely be very strong indeed, that tickets are selling fast, and that was the other thing that fans were being urged to do. If you don't want to invest in the share issue, buy tickets for the next 3 home games.
And Derek, why are Hearts holding a meeting in Inverness? Why are they not holding an EGM on Monday or Tuesday with the bulk of Hearts supporters in Edinburgh, the core support, the loyal support? Why are they not holding one in Edinburgh? Are they frightened of the questions that may be asked? Was this an easy option for Fedotovas and Romanov?
Well, I think it was probably, Craig, the logical thing to do, considering Hearts were playing here in Inverness last night. This was a meeting between senior officials and the Highland Hearts, as they're known, essentially the supporters club from this part of the country. And as the evening wore on, there were a few...
The meeting was that it is basically a charitable donation. You know, the share issue, you know, whatever way you want to dress it up, it's effectively giving money to the club to keep them alive. Your shares will be worth nothing, you'll get nothing back in return. None of you invest money in a share issue, you hope to get a return. The whole point last night was you're giving money away, and the likelihood is you'll never see it again. That's exactly what Craig says, touching the heartstrings of the Hearts supporters, trying to bring them on board, knowing it's their club to keep it alive. They'll be there long term, they'll be there for the future. Romanoff, unfortunately, won't be.
The thing is they're due this 450,000 by Thursday. They need this 450,000 in. I've been speaking to high-ranked officials at Hearts this morning, need another 1.5 by the 19th of December.
This is vitally important information. This is new information you have here.
Yeah, well, I think that's to do with the share issue as well. They need this 1.5 million in by the 19th of December just to try and see out the season. And the Hearts fans should know that it's not just the 450 they need now. They need to continue doing this. They need to really step up to the plate now, because it's 1.5 million needed on top of that. We know it's 2 million that has been talked about for the rest of the season, but they actually need that as soon as possible.
Is there any reality?
That came across last night, Darryl.
Yes, Stephen, is there any reality though? Is there any reality that HMRC would wrap a club up over £450,000? Surely this is a short-term deadline. Surely they'd be willing to do a deal with Hearts, especially if over £100,000 has already been raised.
Darryl, this is the 8th winding up order they've had. It's not the first one they've had. If it was the first one, they could let them off with it. They've obviously broken the rules in the past. They've agreed deals and they haven't followed them up. They haven't made the payments. HMRC have basically had enough, and they've said enough is enough. We now officially want our money, or they're being wound up. That's why it's so serious. It's not the first time, and if you understand what's going on, it certainly won't be the last.
Yeah, and that's the worry, and that's why obviously so many of the fans believe that they have to invest. Now, let's just get back to the game here, guys. I mean, there's a whole bunch of players, playing staff at Hearts as well, who are involved in this. In what frame of mind, Craig, do they approach this game today in this whole situation?
Well, it's not a new thing for them. I mean, it's maybe slightly more serious than it's been in the past, but Hearts players have always been used to playing under controversy, different things going on behind the scenes. So it might galvanise them. I think it has done in the past to produce better performances, and well, for 90 minutes they can go out there and, you know, the weight's off their shoulders, so to speak. They can go off and play the game and try and get the 3 points, which would be a much needed boost to the fans with all the rest that's going on.
You're at a job, you're at a job, you're at a job, pack your bags and go. So these guys playing today are playing not only knowing if Hearts is going to exist or Hearts are going to go into administration, but they've got families, they've got mortgages to pay, and in a week's time, in 2 weeks' time, they might not be in a job. That's a very difficult situation for these guys. I'm sure they'll be professional, but it will be in the back of their mind.
And I should just sum this up also by saying that the fans obviously want a new buyer here, but the problem is there's £22 million of debt. Most of it is owed to Vladimir Romanov, and unless he swallows some of that debt, there's no way forward. Do you agree?
Yeah, all I want to know is, well, apart from other things, but what I want to know is why they're holding a meeting in Inverness in front of what looked like 40 or 50 people max. Why are they not having an EGM on Monday morning in Edinburgh? Because they're an Edinburgh club where thousands of Hearts fans have the chance to come along and ask the questions that we've been talking about, that Craig was saying. Where's the money going to go? How long is it going to last? How much debt are we in? What's the timescale of HMRC? All the hard questions to be asked by the core, loyal Edinburgh fans. Not, and I'm not being disrespectful, but not by 30 or 40 people up in the Highlands in Inverness. That's a soft get out for me.
Question time over for now. Let's find out what the mood is like in the Hearts camp and hear from John McGlynn, who's with Ailey Barber.
Thanks, Darryl. Well, John, a really difficult week for the club. How much has everything off the field impacted on the squad coming into this one?
Well, it's up to us today to go out and do our business on the pitch. You know, a lot of people working very hard behind the scenes down at Tynecastle, selling shares, selling tickets for games, and selling merchandise and anything that they can to get money in the football club. So, from the players' point of view, we get 90 minutes today to put our effort and commitment into trying to get the football club to survive, and that's what we've got to do. We've got to try and play good football today, win the football match, give the fans something to shout about, and anyone who travels up here today, and give them more incentive to go out and buy more shares and buy more tickets for more games.
How emotionally draining has everything been for you and for the squad?
No, we've got to stay professional. We must stay professional. We must stay very, very positive. We can't afford or allow off the field activities to affect us. We've got to stay very focused on the job. So that's what that's what we're trying to do. That's what we've aimed to do. And somewhere around about 2 o'clock, hopefully, we've come here and done the business and got 3 points.
Have you been given the answers? Have you been given the confidence that you will continue to be the Hearts manager beyond next week?
Well, it's the same for everyone. I mean, I think we're not out of the woods, but there seems to be a lot of positive signs because there are a lot of people rallying around. There's a lot of goodwill towards Hearts Football Club. A lot of people have came forward and wanting to help, and so that is very reassuring. We've got as much confidence as we can that we've been given from the board that we will be. But I think it's not a sign for people just to sit back. I think there's still a lot of work to get done between now and next Saturday when we play St Mirren.
Well, good luck today, John. Thank you.
Thank you.
And credit due to John McGlynn for answering those questions. Right, we mustn't forget there's actually a football match happening here today, and Inverness sit third in the table, are in fabulous form too. Now, after the break, we'll catch up with the Shinnie brothers, Graham and Andrew, who've made quite an impression this season.
We got on very well, so it's easy to live together up here, and I think it shows on the pitch when we go out together that the communication and the understanding we have for each other, we can use that on the pitch, and we can create things together on the pitch.
Welcome back. It is a spectacular day up in Inverness. Hearts are the visitors, and that's the view over the Murray Firth on this lovely morning. Great day for football, and loads more live football on ESPN over the next few weeks. Next Saturday, Aberdeen against champion Celtic from Pittodrie will get underway at 11:15. The following week, the action from the Iron Brew Scottish 3rd Division is Elgin take on Rangers. And then at the end of the month, we're at Tynecastle for Hearts against Celtic. Always a highly charged atmosphere when those two meet. That's on Wednesday the 28th of November. Today we're concentrating on the Inverness Hearts match. Thistle are the form side in Scotland's top flight. Unbeaten in over 2 months, scoring goals for fun and pivotal to the club's run have been the Shinnie brothers. Andrew is the club's leading goal scorer. Graham has played every minute this season, and earlier this week they caught up with Martin Keegan.
I didn't deserve to lose that one.
Thanks for turning up.
Andrew, the Shinnie Pool champion, how does it feel?
What achievements? My best feeling so far this season, to be fair, because he's quite a good player, but he just didn't turn up with the cameras on him, so I was happy to take the win, and I'm sure he'll brag about it tonight.
In the usual times we come here, I normally boss it. He doesn't normally get a frame, so cracked under the pressure of the camera.
You come and play pool, you have a laugh and you want to win, and same if you play computer or if it's any other thing, even in training, a shooting competition or something, we're always competitive against each other. It was the same today, and I'm just happy I turned up and won.
We got on very well, so it's easy to live together up here, and I think it shows on the pitch when we go out together that the communication and the understanding we have for each other, we can use that on the pitch, and we can create things together.
When the time came for you to leave Rangers, if Graham hadn't been at Inverness, might you have gone somewhere else?
Possibly. I mean, obviously I'd seen him on a few occasions coming to watch Graham play, and I knew there was a good spirit in the team. I knew the boys all got on great, and the management setup was brilliant, so it made me want to come here. And when I heard the gaffer was interested, it came as a bit of a surprise, but I was happy, and my parents were as well, because it gave them a chance to see their sons playing in the same teams.
It's not my day.
I guess it doesn't get much better for two brothers scoring at Ibrox and knocking Rangers out of the League Cup.
We were always confident going down there. We'd been playing well, and Graham's been chaving at the bit to get his first goal this season. He's been on to me saying he's desperate to get it, so when he took up the penalty duties on Wednesday night, and luckily we managed to get one, and Graham stepped up and confidently slotted it away. So it was a brilliant night for the team, and it was a brilliant night for us both.
Looking for my first goal, and it wasn't coming in normal play, so I thought I'll step up for a penalty, and I'll be able to get it that way. And then I was confident at Rangers, I was confident taking the penalty, and I scored. So on Saturday I was confident again to go up and score, and the keeper went the right way and saved my penalty. So Billy Mackay stepped up in the same game and scored, so I'm sure he'll be looking to take the next one, and I won't be complaining.
After you scored at Kilmarnock last week, Kenny Shields said that you're the best player in the SPL. It must be nice to hear things like that.
Yeah, it's always nice, especially from opposing managers, and it's going well for me this season. I'm enjoying my football, I'm scoring goals, we're winning. Obviously when times get harder, that's when you really need to knuckle down and get your head up, but just now everything's going well.
The manager was quoted as saying this week that you should be aiming for top 3. Would you go along with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've showed with the games we've played every team in the SPL this season, and we haven't, apart from the Celtic game, we know we let ourselves down a wee bit in that game, but apart from that we've been involved in every game, and we've maybe deserved more than what we've got. So I don't see any reason why we wouldn't be aiming for top 3, if not even higher.
A pair of Craigs in the studio with me today, Messrs Burley and Gordon.
I thought you were going to say something else there.
It's been said before. Craig Gordon, first of all. Andrew Shinney really has made some progress since he arrived from Rangers.
Yeah, he's had a great start to the season. 9 goals already. Looking to get into double figures at this early stage of the season is a great achievement. Out of contract in the summer, Inverness try to get him to sign another 2 years, and if they could get that tied up before January, that would be a big boost to them. If not, you would fancy a few bigger teams to come sniffing around. And the last good striker, striker that was scoring a lot of goals for Inverness, Adam Rooney, got a good move down to Birmingham. 21 goals, I think, for Inverness a season or 2 ago, and it looks as if he's kind of stepped up to the plate and filled that berth for them. And as we're going to go on to see the style of goals he's getting, he gets scruffy goals, he's a good finisher, he's always in the right place, and he's not even been playing up front the whole time, he's been coming from behind, and that's a real big asset if you get that coming from your midfield.
Absolutely, and he's been vitally important, but overall Terry Butcher's done a great job, hasn't he, Craig? And the number of players he has to draft in and out every summer.
Yeah, he's probably sitting in his office watching the start to our programme thinking, I can't believe they're having to talk about Hearts, but they are. But you know, it just sort of overshadowed the job he's done at the start of the season. Top goal scorers in the SPL. All the old guard, a lot of the old guard out. You know, Craig mentioned Adam Rooney, he's gone. The Toakleys, the Monroe, the Proctors, the Baines, all these guys that have been there a long time, did a good job. He's brought fresh, young faces in on a real low budget, and they're sitting third in the SPL, and they're scoring goals, they're winning games. He was under a little bit of pressure early on. People said, I think you might have made a mistake discarding these guys. He said, trust me, and it's worked out very, very well for him.
OK, well, not far away from kick-off now, in fact, just under 5 minutes away. And a lovely day up in Inverness, maybe not a day for the beach, but the sun is shining. Inverness, the form side in the SPL, and they take on Hearts next. The kick-off is getting closer and closer. And you can expect goals today. Inverness have more than any other in the SPL. Welcome back, kick-off not far away. Let's get a quick word from the Inverness manager, Terry Butcher. He's with Ailey Barber.
Andrew, all the best. Thanks, Darryl. Well, Terry, a great run that you're on at the moment. Is this as good as life in the SPL has been?
It's not bad, but we want it to continue. We want to keep on climbing the table, and we want to get really positive results. We've been doing that for quite a while now. It's been a nice couple of months, and we've certainly enjoyed it. But you don't want it to stop, and we obviously don't want it to stop today.
When the confidence is going through a team like it is at the moment, does it make your job easier in terms of building them up, getting them to implement the style that you want?
Well, they're very good boys actually. They've some good experience there as well, some good international players, and they keep the younger ones feet on the ground. They make sure everybody's not getting sort of carried away with themselves. But they're a very tight-knit unit, and I think that they treat success and failure the same way. They just get on with it, make sure that everybody's doing their jobs, and they sort of police it themselves, which is easy for me.
When you come up to the club, you can sense the sort of enjoyment that the whole club is getting from this. For a club like Inverness, how does it emanate through the whole club when you get success on the pitch like you have been?
Well, I think it emanates throughout the whole area. I mean, the whole of Inverness is buzzing. Dingwall's buzzing too, with Ross County doing so well. So it's just a great place to be. Elgin just down the road are doing well in the 3rd division. So it's just a fantastic area to be in. And you know, the football's good, the crowds are good. You know, everybody's looking forward to matches on a Saturday and a Wednesday now. We've got a semi-final to look forward to in January as well. So it's a great place to be.
I hope it continues for you, Terry. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Terry Butcher is doing a great job once again. Right, let's go over to our match commentators, Stephen Craigan and Derek Ray.
Thank you very much, Darryl. Confirmation that Inverness Thistle have had to make a change after naming the same team in 4 successive matches. Ross Draper misses out with an ankle injury, but that means a route back into the side for club captain Richie Foran. Andrew Shinney has scored 5 in his last 6. No Scotland call-up, though, for the former Rangers striker. Billy Mackay, on the other hand, playing with the confidence born of 4 goals in 3 SPL matches, has been added to the Northern Ireland squad to face Azerbaijan. Hearts make 2 changes from last week's 1-0 defeat at Dundee. Ryan Stevenson is fit again and returns. There's a maiden start of the season for Jason Holt. John Sutton and the injured Scott Robinson drop out of the starting 11. Andy Webster makes his 200th SPL appearance for Hearts. Marius Zaliukas is 29 today. Well, 98 years ago this month, Hearts were top dogs in Scotland, whereupon 16 of their players enlisted to fight in World War I. 7 of them never returned. Let's pause to reflect on this Remembrance Weekend. This time of year, always especially poignant down Corgi way. Willie Collum is the match referee, fresh from Champions League duty at the Cluj Galatasaray game in midweek. He'll be off to take charge of Poland against Uruguay, friendly on Wednesday. Inverness Caledonian Thistle to kick off this game. With their very survival as a football club, anything but a sure thing. Hearts must put negative thoughts to one side and concentrate on matching a competent Cali Thistle team. Confidence in the Cali Jags camp has skyrocketed on the back of 5 wins from their last 6 competitive games. Danny Granger, confronted by Billy Mackay, very much the form player, put pen to paper on a new 2-year deal back in June. Michael O'Neill giving him the call-up. Well, Stephen, how difficult will it be for the Hearts players to forget about what's going on off the pitch?
Well, there's no doubt it'll be difficult, Derek, and I think we'll see in the first 5 or 10 minutes, you know, if it's really going to affect their performance today. Inverness are flying, they've been doing really, really well, so expect them to get after Hearts early on and see if there's anything going on in the back of their mind.
Roberts on loan from Arsenal. Over there on the far side. That loan deal running until January. Well, Terry Butcher has possibly extending it. Josh Meekings once again playing at the back for Cali Thistle. Having a weather eye on Callum Patterson. 18 years of age, Patterson. Product of Tynecastle Boys Club. Inverness have managed just 1 win in the last 12 meetings with Hearts. Came here back in January.
And you just think Hearts need a win just to more or less kickstart their season, Derek. You know, they've had good performances, good results, and then they fell away. And losing last week away to Dundee will have been a bitter blow to them. So, you know, this week certainly won't have helped them off. The Doran, Billy Mackay, Roberts, Andrew Shinney, they then go and make a difference and get them goals, and they've been excellent so far this season. Interesting
to compare and contrast the two shapes. Looks like something approximating 4-3-3 for Hearts. It's the usual 4-2-3-1 for Inverness.
The formation's changed, Derek. You know, someone once said to me, it's only 5 yards from a 4-3-3 to a 4-4-2. You know, you can do what you want. It's about individual players. Can they go and perform and win you the game? And Inverness has certainly shown over the last 7 games anyway, they've got the individuals that can make a difference.
Graham Shinney, younger brother of Andrew. He's been wearing the captain's armband in the absence of Richie Foran, but Foran back in the side today. Lefty Towell, isn't quite what he had in mind. Foran's pass towards Mackay. McGowan. Wine Tudor Jones. Giant of a midfield fulcrum for Inverness. David Raven had made his way forward. Aaron Doran. Raven. It's not a bad ball. Jamie McDonald's called into urgent action.
It was good play all around by Inverness. 6-7 passes. First time in the game, Derek, one of the two teams have strung passes together, and eventually they get the ball in the box, and Richie Foran, that's what he brings to the team. Good save, Jamie McDonald.
Trying to build. Zaniukas with a pass. Patterson. Stumbled near the byline. Callum Patterson. And there it fizzles out.
Yeah, it was good counter-attack by Hearts, but you know, there's Jamie McDonald, the man who's maybe not kept Hearts in the game, but it's a good cross from Raven. This is what Richie Foran gives you, Derek, playing in midfield. He gets himself into the box. Maybe at times Inverness have lacked that when he's not been playing. They've maybe been trying to play short passes all the time, but by getting Richie in the box, he'll certainly pose them problems.
The free kick. Andrew Shinney is keen to take it quickly. Wise smiles from both Andrew Shinney and Darren Barr.
It's all over. Inverness are trying to take a free kick quickly, Derek, and I was always led to believe the rule is if you stop the quick free kick being taken, it's a booking. So will he call him? I know you don't like to see players booked, but the rules state he should be booked for that, and I think that's why those are coming together.
Here's Graham Shinney in the 6th minute of the Tulla Caledonian Stadium. Richie Foran made a bright start to this game. Roberts took a deflection on its way through to McDonald.
Yeah, there's Richie again, getting himself in the box. I think he gives him a different option. You know, if Billy Mackay's playing up there in his own, Richie's not about. I say everything has to be over the top or in defeat. When you've got Richie going up to support, you can put the ball in the box and give him a different option.
Ryan Stevenson, his second spell with Hearts. Off to play for Ipswich Town, second half of last term. Jason Holt starting for the first time in this campaign. One start last season. Kovas cushioning the ball for Patterson. It comes off Gary Warren. And behind for the corner.
And that's given the Hearts fans something to shout about, Derek. Again, this is the first time Hearts have really passed the ball and tried to make something happen. Callum Patterson in the end can't get a shot on target, but at least they've got a set piece. Up will come Webster, up will come McGowan, up will come Zaniukas. Can they get something from it?
Rangers delivery. Tudor Jones only as far as Novi Kovas. A nimble Lithuanian. Zaniukas, a member of the Lithuanian contingent. Ryan McGowan. Blocked by the ubiquitous Foran.
I think looking back to the corner, it was a disappointing delivery from Danny Granger. When you send the big men up, you want to put the ball in a good area. He didn't do that. Fortunately, they've kept the ball alive and they've kept the pressure on Inverness. They're deep in their half.
It's Ryan McGowan's throw. Stevenson trying to get his head to it. Patterson's in there. Foran coming away with the ball. Now, Aaron Doran. Looking a bit exposed and a bit stretched. And a shot from Andy Shinney into the clutches of Jamie McDonald.
It's wonderful counter-attacking football. That's when Inverness are at their best, I think, Derek, sometimes when they're defending. If they win the ball, they've got pace and Doran, pace and Roberts, and they can catch in the counter-attack.
Still set up to counter-attack, really, aren't they, Inverness?
Yeah, and here it is. This is Aaron Dawn. This time it's him down the right-hand side. You can see Andrew Shinnie. I think he could just be slightly offside. The linesman, I don't think, is up with play. He could have actually took a touch, Shinnie. Bring it under control, get your shot away. He goes first time, can't put it in the net.
Gary Warren trying to take care of business at the back. I'd expect to see a lot of Novi Kovas. Antonio Reguero, Spanish goalkeeper for Inverness. 7th successive start for the man who used to be on the books of Real Madrid. Sergejus Fedotovas at the big meeting here in Inverness last night. In attendance today. Not a lot of difficult questions to answer. He was very patient throughout the meeting.
It certainly was. A lot of questions I still think, Derek, unanswered, but you know, I think he's been sent out by Mr. Romanoff to try and front it. It was a little bit disappointing in some aspects last night.
Should point out, by the way, there was a full-scale meeting between senior Hearts officials and the Hearts Supporters Federation on Thursday. Here's Doran. Andy Webster away. Here's Holt.
You can just see again, it was Aaron Doran down the right-hand side, Derek. We've seen him here in the Highland Derby. He scored a wonderful volley in that game as well. He was very, very influential in how Inverness play, and already in the first 10 minutes, it looks like if Inverness are going to get themselves in front and dominate the game, it's going to come down his side.
Graham Shinnie with the throw for Caledonian Thistle. Roberts. All of a sudden, recent weeks, things looking up for Inverness after a poor start to the season. Aaron Doran scored a cracker of a goal recently in the Highland Derby against Ross County to make certain a victory. It's their second win on that Caledonian Thistle run. Ranger want to make the connection with Stevenson.
I think we can see Inverness are starting to dictate the game a little bit, Derek. I think Hearts will be the ones who will try and play in the counter-attack. They'll sit a little bit deeper. They've got good defenders, they've got a strong defence. But Inverness, you can see they're the team in confidence. They're the team all wanting the ball and wanting to make passes.
Callum Patterson is not going to get away with that. Right in front of referee Willie Collum.
It's a silly free kick, Derek, you know. That's what happens sometimes when forward players or wide players go back into defensive situations. They give away silly free kicks and put their team under pressure, unnecessary pressure, and I think Callum Patterson will be hoping that Inverness don't capitalise.
Here is Aaron Doran with the free kick for Inverness. Gary Warren trying to cause a bit of havoc. Marius Zaliukas out jumping him.
That was a crucial header by Zaliukas. I think Warren was behind him, was going to get the free header in, but that's why centre-halves have to go and head the ball. Go and clear the danger. Zaliukas, good header.
Breezy day here by the Murray Firth. Graham Shinnie with it. Zaliukas. No real problems encountered by Marius Zaliukas. There's Warren. And from Newport County at the start of the season. Part of Caledonian Football Club, a proud Edinburgh institution. Means so much to so many people. Quite a few have made the trip north for this early Saturday start. Fans charged with the task of saving the club, saving the tradition.
Yeah, certainly, I think they've probably more of a travelling support here than what they would have been, Derek, if the problems hadn't been. So I think it just shows how much it means. They want their club to survive, and I'm sure if they have their way, they certainly will.
It's been harrowing for the Hearts supporters, what's gone on this week. Here to cheer on their team. John McGlynn, former plumber, facing this season what he describes as the biggest repair job Hearts have faced themselves as a club since the 1970s.
Can't help but feel for John McGlynn, Derek, can you? You know, every press conference, everything he does, he doesn't speak about football. It's everything but football for John. And it's a crying shame because he's a very, very good manager.
Tawiel, former Kilmarnock man. This brings a bit of flair to the equation for Hearts. When he's on the side, Tawiel. Charged down by Novi Kovas. David Raven. One-time Liverpool player. 20 appearances for Tranmere Rovers last season. Started every single SPL match for Inverness in this campaign. Wayne Tudor-Jones. His fellow giant, Ross Draper alongside him. He's out because of an ankle injury.
You just can't help but think Hearts need to get Taul, Novi Kovas, Patterson. They need to get them on the ball. Just now they're not able to find the space. They're passing the ball about the back, not really causing Inverness any problems. So I think the sooner these guys get on the ball, the better.
Novi Kovas. Dishing it off to Stevenson. Here's Tudor-Jones. Gobbled up by Tawiel. Darren Barr. Ryan McGowan. Stevenson from a long way out. Warming the fingers of Antonio Reguero.
Initially I thought, Derek, a little bit ambitious, but you then see the movement on the ball, and Reguero does well in the end.
Tawiel tries to keep it moving. Tudor-Jones for Inverness. Foreign, highly versatile. They played deeper last season before the recent injury. He's playing high up the pitch, hasn't been able to get back into the team.
I think that's where he'd rather play, Derek, as a central striker, and Terry would probably like him there as well. But young Billy Mackay, 4 goals in his last 3 games, he has to continue to play. And Billy's a live wire, he works hard, he runs about, but Richie maybe at times just give him the physical presence up front as well. So it's a good problem for Terry to have.
Billy Mackay is watching closely. I know, Stephen, your eyebrows were raised when it emerged that Michael O'Neill has called up Mackay.
Yeah, listen, he's done well. Michael's been watching him for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I was actually down at Kilmarnock watching him last week for Michael, and he had a very, very good game. So I think it's credit. You know, if people are doing well, Derek, they have to be rewarded, and Billy's certainly been done that. He's in the squad for Wednesday night's game.
Against Azerbaijan at Windsor Park in Belfast. Andy Webster. This is his 200th SPL appearance for the Jambos. His 2 spells with the club. Granger. Always difficult to try that sort of pass at this particular venue with the wind swirling around.
Yeah, and I think Callum Patterson misjudged it. I think he thought Graham Shinney was going to head the ball. In the end, he didn't, and by the time Patterson had reacted, Derek, the ball was already beyond him. So maybe he should have just gambled and thought that Shinney was going to miss it. He didn't, but it is quite ambitious by Danny Granger. It's a long, hard pass, and 9 times out of 10 you get possession up, and that's exactly what happened.
It's an excellent playing surface here.
No, it's no. It's all over the ball.
Roberts. You can see what he thinks of that.
The conversation going on between the linesmen and the rest of the players. That's good. A little bit of communication and not a swear word in sight, Derek.
Will they conquer? Always likes a good chat. Well, this is interesting. Reguero falling back. So pair of hands. Played in by McGowan initially. Novi Kovas. Holt. Meekings. Roberts. Holt. Zaliukas, standing guard. Tawiel. Lucas sometimes his passing lets him down. Raven. Away goes Andy Shinney. To bore a hole in the Hearts' defence. Mackay holding it up for Andrew Shinney. Wayne Tudor-Jones gives it a smack! Brilliant! Wayne Tudor-Jones! What a way to score your first goal for Inverness. Terry Butcher enjoyed the moment. Inverness have been on a fabulous run. Might well just keep it going today.
The question is, Derek, will he score a better goal? But I tell you what, he's got to give lots of plaudits to Andrew Shinnie. Look at him. He started the play. He's the one dribbling the ball, going across the box, keeps the ball alive. Suddenly it comes to Tudor Jones. It's a very good first touch, and he just rifles the ball past Jamie McDonald. That is probably as good a goal as what he'll score, but there's what it's all about. Andrew Shinnie, Inverness's main man. Again, he's involved in a goal. Great finish, and I think, Derek, a deserved lead.
Wine Tudor Jones on target for the first time since February 2010, when he was a Yeovil player, scored in their 4-1 win against Wycombe Wanderers. It just gets better and better for Inverness Caledonian Thistle.
And now we'll see if this week's had an effect on the Hearts players, Derek. Can they raise their game? Can they raise to the challenge of going behind?
And Foran leading the charge. There's Aaron Doran. There's Raven to his right. Positive play from David Raven. Novi Kovas. Now Warren. Here it comes from Raven. Inverness, only team in the SPL to have scored in every single match this season.
And here it is, Derek. A supposed defensive midfield player, not with a strike and a goal like that. Certainly got good attacking instincts in him. He's a big player for Terry Butcher. He's a great physical presence in midfield, but you also see he's got goals in his locker too.
Means Cali Thistle have opened the scoring in 5 consecutive home games against Hearts. Richie Foran. Just a bit ambitious.
And I think he would slightly fear for Hearts, Derek. You know, defensively they've been good this season. I think they've conceded, what, 12 goals in 12 games, but they haven't scored enough goals. That's always been the question for John McGlynn and his players. Do they score enough goals? And now they're behind. There's big question marks again over their attacking threat.
Andy Webster in the Scotland squad for the trip to Luxembourg on Wednesday, and you can see the game live with us on ESPN coverage from 7. And next weekend, bright and early, Saturday morning from 11:15 in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League, Aberdeen against Celtic. What a week it has been for the Parkhead club. Doing Scotland proud in the Champions League against Barcelona.
Wonderful, Derek, absolutely wonderful. You know, especially with the problem Scottish football has had, to see one of our own clubs going and putting in performance like that. Absolutely tremendous to watch.
Zaniukas, there's Towell. Hearts have failed to score in 5 of their 12 SPL matches this season. Coming into this one. Jamie McDonald. He's never had a clean sheet against Cali Thistle. He's not going to get one today. Patterson was buffeted.
That's a little bit better. You know, as I said, you need their flair players. Inverness certainly get Shinnie on the ball, and they get Doran on the ball and Roberts. Hearts have to try and find a way, whether it's through shape or whether it's through players' awareness. They have to get Patterson, they have to get Novi Kovas on the ball to try and make something happen, or their barren run of struggling to score goals, Derek, will continue.
Stevenson with the free kick for Heart of Midlothian. Inquiry about a possible penalty. Zaniukas. Alec Collins having none of it.
Well, I think the referee was well positioned, Derek. There's always coming together, there's always arms, there's always people putting themselves about. No, not a penalty kick, not for me. I think he's more in hope that he's appealing for that. Good defending by Richie Foran, got his body in the way.
Inverness with a win. Full level on points with Celtic and Hibs at the top. Let's have different priorities at the moment. First and foremost, staying alive. It's all come together for Terry Butcher's side. Danny Granger, 15th consecutive start. And Webster, back to McDonald. It's Philip Roberts, only 18. Certainly impressed a few up here on the Highlands since joining on loan from Arsenal.
Everything a football player would love, Derek, lots and lots of pace. That means you can go and you can add things to your game, and he's certainly done that since he started playing here regularly.
Billy Mackay feeding Aaron Doran. Danny Granger, the reading of the situation.
I think that's what Doran wants, Derek. He wants to be one-on-one. He loves taking defenders on and getting at them, and that's what Danny Granger will have to cope with this afternoon.
Andrew Shinney. Doran into reverse gear. Warren. It's Roberts with a header, and it's Mackay, and it's Roberts, and it's Foran. Directed on target.
He's certainly had a good start to the game, Richie, hasn't he? You know, sometimes when players are out of the team and their fitness is not there, Derek, it takes him a little while to get the pace of the game, but he's enthusiastic, he's keen, he's playing a little bit deeper, as you say, but he's still having a good impact in the game.
Have lost all 5 SPL matches and taken part in this season. They conceded the first goal. Change that state of affairs. McGowan stumbles. Patterson. No problems at all for Inverness.
You just feel as if when they get to the final third, Derek, they don't seem to have any ideas, have no movement, nobody's trying to do something different. They just seem to be plodding along. They get up the pitch, they give the ball away, and Inverness attack. They need to add a little bit of flair to their game to try and break through this Inverness defence. This is a well-organised defence. At the start of the season, they were under a little bit of pressure. They conceded 4 goals at Motherwell. They conceded 4 goals here against Celtic. But since then, since they've got this, solidity, they're looking a much better unit.
The goal from Tudor Jones, and a cracking goal it was. Means Inverness have scored in 9 consecutive encounters with the Jambos. Here's Holt. Grew up in Musselburgh, just outside Edinburgh. Grew up supporting Hearts. Doran. Sending it back to Raven. It's Holt who went down. Zaniukas with a heavy touch initially. Now Warren. Beside him, Meekings. Graham Shinney. He's going astray off the boot of Richie Foran. Here's Patterson. Tariel. Webster. Tariel. That's trying to get men forward. Stevenson's in the middle. Good take by Regueira. Ryan Stevenson was in the thick of things. A slight problem here as far as Patterson is concerned.
A little bit of blood, Derek. We've all had it before, centre halves especially, a big elbow in the face. He'll get it dried up and he'll get himself back on. He's a hardy young man.
Now action coming to you from the Highlands. Inverness hitting the high notes. Certainly in the last few weeks, the pattern continuing in the shadow of the Keswick Bridge. Caledonian Stadium, the venue. Andrew Shinney. His tail certainly up at the moment. Still playing with 10 men. Patterson receiving treatment. And Aguero, and a chase for Raven. Something to spread his wings. Warren missing out the midfield area. Zaniukas. It will be Warren's free kick. He's winning most of the battles with Ryan Stevenson at the moment.
He is. You know, Ryan's not traditionally a centre forward, Derek. I think he likes to play midfielder in one of the wider areas. And you can see today he's a little bit lost up there. The ball's going back to front. Meekins and Warren are dominating him. He really hasn't made any impact in the game. And that's maybe one of the reasons why Hearts can't get up and make something happen.
Speculative ball from Warren. Doran in pursuit. Oh, a mini accident. Quickly taken. Trying to befuddle the Hearts defence. Lefty Towell, and it comes off Raven.
Yeah, I just wonder even with Towell, Derek, you know, he's playing a little bit deeper for me. I think he's better in the final third. He's got a little bit of industry about him. He can take men on. He's nice and positive, but playing in a deep-lying midfield role, I don't think he has the same impact in the game.
Patterson all patched up and back with us. Stevenson's pass, it's holds. Shinnie had to get rid of the ball. Finally did. Granger. Tony Kovas. Actually Foran managed to take it away, but Foran's gone down. He felt that one. Billy Mackay wriggling. Mackay! And just narrowly wide. And there was a sore one for Foran as that was developing. And there's a yellow card too here. Danny Granger can't quite work it out.
This is what Billy Mackay wants, Derek. He's had a quiet afternoon as well, but that's the counter-attack we're talking about again. Get the ball into Shinnie, get the ball into Billy Mackay. They can make things happen. Andy Webster caught flat-footed. Wasn't expecting Mackay to go by him. He does. Unfortunately, can't put the shot on target.
That was the incident we were talking about with Foran going down. Elbow from Granger. So caution for the Hearts left back. Towell. It's lacking a cutting edge and attack. Scored just 4 goals in 6 away matches this season in the SPL. Roberts, McGowan. McGowan, who's in the Australia squad. A long trip to South Korea this week. Mackay. Amazing what a run of games can do for a player's confidence. Roberts. And McGowan. Strong challenge. On the 23-year-old.
That's good defending by Ryan McGowan, Derek. When you're up against a player, you know he's got lots of pace and he wants to knock a ball in behind. You've got to keep your eye on the ball, focus on the ball, don't lunge in. And that was clever defending by Ryan McGowan.
Patterson has to be content with the throw over on the far side.
You must say, Derek, Inverness look reasonably comfortable, don't they? You know, Hearts haven't really put them under any sustained pressure. You think if there's a goal going to come, you feel as if it'll be a second for Inverness with Mackay went close and Doran and Shinnie all looking good, but Hearts really struggling to make any sort of impact or any inroads in the Inverness defence.
Hearts' last win here at the Turrick Caledonian Stadium came September 2010. A foul day. The rain was coming in from all angles. They beat Inverness 3-1 on that occasion. Ryan Stevenson amongst the scorers. It was his first goal for the Jambos. Here's Novi Kovas. Now Patterson. In 10th position going into this round in the SPL. A total of 13 points.
can see why, Derek. You can see why they're sitting 10th. Sometimes league tables, people say, oh, they lie. You know, we've played better than that. But Hearts today certainly are a team who, you know, who deservedly sit in 10th place. They haven't showed a lot of ambition. They haven't showed a lot of threat. And Inverness are certainly a team, as you can see, flying high at the top of the league. They're much more in control of the game.
Antonio Reguero got his chance a few weeks ago. Ryan Essen picked up an injury while warming up. That was prior to the game against Dundee United, the 4-0 Cali Thistle win. And Reguero has been magnificent. Previously playing in the Spanish 4th tier for Gandia. Patterson. Meekings. Touch by Novi Kovas. Foran. Andrew Shinnie. Experienced David Raven. And it's aimless. Holt. Novi Kovas. Raven with the initial challenge. In goes Foran. It's been just about everywhere. Richie Foran. Ryan Stevenson from a long way out. Little deflection on its way through to Reguero.
It's clearly affecting the performance because, you know, I expected them to come out today, be fired up, making tackles, putting Inverness under pressure, really trying to show they want to play for this club. And for me, unfortunately, up to now, they haven't shown that.
Here's Patterson. Foran. Sometimes you have to spill a bit of blood. Desperate times. Patterson perhaps taking that to an extreme earlier.
Well, you think over the coming weeks you're going to be a bit of blood, sweat and tears coming out of Tynecastle with the work they have to do to try and keep their club alive. And I think young Callum Patterson is one of the only ones today, Derek, you can see is at least running about. He's trying to make things happen, and again, it's a younger players taking the lead. I think the experienced players should stand up a little bit as well.
Intriguing possibility here for Hearts. It's Granger with a free kick. Graham Shinnie with a header away. Insufficient guile. Nasty towel. On goes McGowan. Raven away. Webster. Zaliukas. So many Cali Thistle players back. Zaliukas hits it with too much force. McGowan. Novi Kovas. Tawil. It's Novi Kovas. Complete miss hit. And 1-0 to Inverness. It remains.
This is the interplay again. This is a pass, and this is where Inverness are trying to get through. But I think credit must go to Inverness, Derek, that, you know, they're solid, they're strong, they're hard to break down, and Hearts are really just struggling to get through. But Inverness, they put plenty of bodies on the line. They put a good back four, a good two in Tudor Jones and Foran just in front, and they're dominating proceedings.
Here's Barr. Webster. Tidied up by Meekings. Philip Roberts. Well, what does Terry Butcher think of the show so far? He's with Ailey Barber.
Hey, Phil! Phil, run! Run!
Terry, pleased with what you've seen so far? You look a wee bit,
a
bit frustrated at the moment.
When we win the ball, we just give it away so easy. Just got to have a good possession period if we can and make sure that we keep it better. You know, we've done pretty well so far. Got a good lead. Look as though we're going to score when we break forward, but we're just giving the ball away just a bit too easy.
Cheers, Terry.
Thank you.
Always accessible, Terry Butcher.
I thought he was shouting at me there, Derek. Honestly, every time he sees me, shouts at him. I thought he'd seen me from the other side of the ground. Thankfully, it wasn't me this time.
There's Novi Kovas. Nothing comes of it. Raven. Doran. Tudor Jones. A spectacular goal separates these two sides. Granger. He approached the final 5 minutes of the first half. His last away goal in the SPL. Back on the 2nd of September against Dundee United. Roberts, it was on for Doran. Couldn't find him though. And this is Holt now for Hearts. McGowan. Vincy Tawil. He has a go. Again, not particularly well hit. And I know, Stephen, Terry Butcher still terrifies you after all these years. What must young Roberts think?
I think you can't wait to the second half, Derek, to get on over this side, to get away from him, because when you're on Terry's side, he's always on your case. But I think he just summed it up. He's frustrated every time they win the ball. They get away, and young Roberts had a good chance of playing Doran, and he gave the ball away. And unfortunately, as I say, he was right in front of Terry, and he's right on his case.
The message to Philip Roberts is you've got 5 minutes to lock up your ideas. Here's Stevenson. Again, it's harmless. And again, it's Reguera.
Yeah, it's that distance again, Derek. You know, it's fine getting shots off, and statistically it looks good. You've had shots on target, but you haven't really tested the goalkeeper. And, you know, that's Ran Stevenson's best position for me. Coming from midfield and getting strikes, I don't think he's doing well enough. He's not equipped enough to play as a central striker, especially in his own when he's been isolated like this.
In terms of attempts on target, it's even Stephen. Thistle lead by 1-0. Real moment of quality from Owain Tudor-Jones. Tawil. French-born, qualifies for Morocco. Vincy Tawil. Reguera says that's mine. 2 clean sheets in his 6 previous games this season. Inverness really have shot up the table. You can see why they've managed to do that. There's Holt for a pocket of space, but wildly into the bridge end behind the goal.
I think Inverness will just be happy to get the half-time in the lead, Derek. The last 5 or 10 minutes, they haven't really been as impressive as they were early on. They've given the ball away, as Terry mentioned in his little interview. Their shape has been good. Defensively, they've been fine. You know, you can see Terry still trying to get some instructions on. He'll be happy to get the half-time knowing if they can win 1-0 up, he can get at them, he can change things, he can speak to them, and they can come out the second half refreshed and ready to go.
It's just 1 win and 7 tries against Hearts as Cali Thistle boss, Terry Butcher. Sun peeking through the clouds here in the Highlands. And the sun shining on Inverness. Webster, it's Foran who gets a boot to ball. Raven, Aaron Doran. Gary Warren. Shinny. Certainly a few people here in Scotland thought might just get a Scotland call-up. Knocking on the door.
I think he's close, Derek, there's no doubt about it. I think maybe he just needs a little bit more consistency. I think he does over another 6, 7, 8 games. I think certainly come the March internationals, he certainly has got question marks to ask about it. But I think at the minute, yes, he's done well, but can he sustain it over a longer period?
That's always the question, isn't it, when it comes to international football. Final minutes of normal time in the first half. Hearts with a full-blown crisis enveloping the football club. Trying to get on with the business at hand. Outplayed though by Inverness. Lovely touch from Mackay. Here's Doran. And Billy Mackay locating the ball. A bit of stumbling going on as well. Richie Foran! Smart stop by McDonald. Now Doran. Tudor-Jones. It's David Raven. And a concession of a corner by Danny Granger.
And it's good play again by Inverness. I think Hearts give the ball up far too easy. Doran, there he is. He's tricky. He gets a little break. Billy Mackay gets a little break. Just can't get a shot away. Ball eventually falls to Richie Foran. And Jamie McDonald's save, we just see it here, Jamie McDonald's save keeps Hearts in the game.
No time to take the corner. It's half-time in the Highlands. One magnificent goal separating these two. It came from Owain Tudor-Jones, his first goal since February 2010. Inverness 1, Hearts 0.
Derek, thank you very much. You're right, Inverness are continuing their good recent form in this first half, and that Owen Tudor-Jones goal is the difference. Has he ever struck a better ball? We'll look back in the first half next. Next Wednesday evening there's live international football as Scotland are in Luxembourg for their first match since Craig Levine's departure as manager. Join us from 7 p.m. Inverness a goal to the good at half-time. Craig Gordon, Craig Burley with me here in the studio, and on reflection in that first half, did Inverness deserve the lead?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think Terry, and he said in his interview during the match there, I think he's a bit frustrated that he knows Hearts are there for the taking today. We've mentioned all the problems for Hearts off the field, well, they're having problems on the as well, and I think at 1-0 Terry will feel a little bit better ball retention, and he mentioned that, then there's going to be more chances for them.
Are you disappointed your old team so far?
They've not shown much in front of goal. They've had the ball, they've not really done an awful lot with it. I think they'll be trying to get a few more men further forward, perhaps as the game goes on, chuck another striker up there, because there's not really an awful lot happening in front of goal, even though they've had the ball and the position sometimes to do something with it.
As a goalkeeper, you wouldn't have stopped this shot, would you?
No, I don't think so. It's hit so well. It's a long way out, but if you see the movement on the ball, it starts straight and it just whips away into that far corner. I really don't think any goalkeeper is going to save it. Hearts at this point think they've probably defended the situation as it goes out there, but you're not saving that. Sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and say that it was a good strike, and there wasn't an awful lot they could have done about that defensively.
What I liked about him there was his look after. He's almost as if he does that all the time.
I don't think so. It's his first goal for the club and his first goal for quite a while.
Yeah, I know. It's an absolute beauty. I mean, he's been around Swansea and Swindon, and
the movement on this is unbelievable.
Norwich, yeah. And I don't know, he's got 6 caps for Wales as well, so he's got plenty of experience. What he hasn't got, plenty of goals like this in his locker. Yeah. But it's an absolute cracker, and I think that's the type of quality that Terry will be looking for a bit more of. But there's been too many times, or there's been times in the game where Hearts have been caught on the hop, just pushing people forward, and Inverness haven't taken advantage of it. And really, I think Terry will be looking for a little bit better quality in the final third. Hearts looking for offside here. It was tight, but again, they've got players having to track back.
They get numbers in behind.
They get numbers in behind, and Inverness are not taking full advantage of those little situations that they've had.
Another example here, Craig. I mean, Hearts just get caught out.
They do. It's McGowan and Webster that go for the throw-in. They both go for the same ball. They lose it, and now they're in trouble. They've only got Granger and Zaliukas left against 4 attackers. They can count themselves very lucky that this is actually a poor crossfield ball, because if that is to the striker's feet, he's going straight through and goal there. It's a poor ball, and the move kind of peters out. But this happened too often from the Hearts' point of view. They got caught out on the break, and they were lucky not to get.
So that's Inverness going forward, but Hearts in return really aren't creating very much themselves.
No, they're not, and Craig's been watching his old club closely here, and you know, you've noticed that they're just not getting bodies in the box, are they?
No, they're not. I mean, you look here when Novakovic turns back out, the other 2 strikers are standing outside the box waiting on the ball rolled back to them, and there's 6 Inverness defenders here that they're going to have to do something very special to dribble round all of those and get a shot off at target.
Look at that, there's no Hearts player attacking that penalty spot. There's nobody to play that ball to there. OK, they get the strike away as we move it on a bit. They get the strike away, that's fine, but everybody's outside the box. And you just think, away from home, you've got to commit some bodies forward.
Again, here, just not enough in the box.
Yeah, not enough. I mean, they work a decent position. They've one guy at the back post. So.
Patterson coming in at the back there, but you've got no midfield runners. I mean, there's Towell getting on the ball. He's sitting deep. Darren Barr's not going to get in the box that often. They need to get more people in the box from the midfield area as well.
You think John McGlynn's probably saying that in the dressing room right now. Second half is on the way, and it's been a hard week for the Hearts manager, John McGlynn. Terry Butcher, though, saying that his team's done well so far, but wants them to use the ball better. Second half is just a couple of minutes away now. It's a busy day here on ESPN tomorrow. We kick things off with Serie A. It's the first Rome derby of the season, Lazio against Roma, live from the Olympic Stadium. And that's followed by Stuttgart against Hanover from the Bundesliga. And then we wrap things up with reigning French champions Montpellier against top of the table Paris Saint-Germain. And now let's get a quick word with the Hearts manager John McGlynn. He's with Ailey.
John, you're obviously not overly pleased with the first half. The fact that you've made 2 changes, talk me through it.
Yeah, no, I feel that we've not really won enough second balls and we've not been creative enough in the final third, so we're looking to put Dylan on to win more second balls, mix it with the sort of central midfield players of Inverness Caledonian, and we're looking for Andrew Driver to be positive in the wing and try and get delivery balls in the box and be more creative.
What was your main point at half-time that you've tried to put across them?
I think that we can still win the game, and I think that Cali are there for the beating. Although they're in front, I think when we'll pass the ball very well, we'll create 1 or 2 openings. I think if we do that more often, we can create more chances, and we're looking to take 1 or 2 of them to win the game.
Good luck, John. Thank you.
Cheers.
He's been bold at half-time. He's made 2 changes. Andy Driver on, the young Dylan McGowan on as well. Novi Kovas, Tawi make way for the 2 of them. And let's get back to our commentators, Stephen Craigan and Derek Ray.
Thanks very much, Darryl. The Hearts have been behind 5 times in SPL matches at half-time this season. They've lost all 5 games. It will be the Jambos to get things going in the second half, having made the 2 personnel changes. Mehdi Tawil and Arvidas Novi Kovas departing the coach of Hearts. Of course, has worked at the club for years in various capacities. But it's not an easy time to be boss of Hearts of Midlothian. Everything very uncertain at the moment. But there has certainly been a rallying round amongst Hearts supporters the world over, trying to help the club in their hour of need.
I think it's up to the players now, Derek, to give a little bit back to the fans, performance-wise on the pitch, because I think the first half certainly wasn't good enough, certainly wasn't used to the standard that Hearts have been used to over the years. And I think the players have to take a little bit more responsibility on the ball, in possession. Both Craig spoke about it, getting men into the box, trying to do something in the final third to try and get themselves back in the game.
Now Richie Foran's pass. Here's Andrew Shinnie. The offside flag has gone up. It's Billy Mackay. Looks over a bit quizzically.
I think he was trying to just delay his run. He was trying to stay onside as much as he possibly could, but you just sense when Andrew Shinnie gets the ball, Derek, you feel he's always looking for that threaded ball. He's always looking to try and get the ball in between centre halves, down the side of centre halves. And that's a great quality and a good player to have on your side.
Andy Webster, long free kick. Stevenson was competing for it. Granger, Patterson. Stevenson was off balance. Zaliukas. It's going to go all the way out of play. Inverness leading by a 1-0. Owain Tudor-Jones with a stunning strike. Antonio Reguero hasn't had an awful lot to worry about. A few Heart shots from 20-25 yards out. Doran trying to play a bit of keepy-uppy with the ball. Raven. And it's Webster. A foul by Mackay.
And I think it was a silly free kick. He really didn't need to put Andy Webster under any pressure. Andy Webster took his touch wide. He was always going to put the ball out. It would have kept them up the pitch. You see it here, you see Andy Webster's touch. As soon as he does it, Mackay, I don't think maybe there's any intent, but still he puts him under pressure. That's lets Hearts off the hook.
Header by Meekings. Andy Shinnie. Calls for Holt. So 1 or 2 bright moments from Holt in the first half, his first start of the season. Bounced off Richie Foran. His tigerish qualities coming to the fore in this match. He thought about it for a second or two before awarding the free kick. Josh Meekings on the receiving end.
I think it was Andy Driver, he's working hard, he's trying to put him under pressure, but I think you can clearly see, Derek, he gives him a little nudge just before he plays the pass puts him off balance, and just like Billy Mackay did against Andy Webster, Andy Driver lets Josh Meekins off the hook.
Graham Shinnie, product of the Inverness Thistle youth scheme. Got a fruitful loan spell at Forest Mechanics a couple of years ago, assisting his development. Roberts and Reguero. He wasn't messing around. Routine for McDonald. Had a contract with Hearts until 2014. So many Hearts players see their current contracts end come May next year. There's Dylan McGowan. Excellent tackle. Now Andrew Driver. Raven going over there to meet him. Dispossessing Andrew Driver with ease, David Raven. Foreign. Andrew Shinnie. Behind him, Owain Tudor-Jones. Nothing wrong with the idea. So Lucas and Driver. Stevenson and Holt waiting inside the box. It's a poor ball from Andrew Driver. Groans from the Hearts supporters away to our right. Andrew Shinnie. Wanted to do it on his own. And Roberts making the run out on the left-hand touchline. Ryan McGowan coming together there. Graham Shinnie is the miscreant, and it will be a yellow card for the younger Shinnie brother.
I think it's just a mistimed tackle. I think Ryan McGowan takes a heavy touch. Graham Shinnie then thinks he can nick it. You see it here, McGowan just takes a heavy touch. Shinnie thinks he can nick it, he can't. McGowan just gets in front of him, and Shinnie goes for the tackle. I think it's a booking, but I don't think he means to go in and stop him playing. But back to the Andy Driver situation, it was twice and within 30 seconds he had the ball and nothing happened. You can just sense the frustrations of the Hearts fans behind that goal. They want a little bit better.
Andy Webster with the Hearts free kick. Flicked by Mackay. It's a good one. Andrew Shinnie. Webster. Oh, it's Granger. Goes all the way through. Gary Warren shepherding it towards the byline.
Just a poor pass choice by Danny Granger. You know, just overhitting the pass. It's a simple ball in the young hole. Give him something to chase on to. And I think it just sums up Hearts' afternoon. They've made the wrong choice. Their passing hasn't been good enough. They haven't got enough men forward to try and create problems. And I think as long as it goes like this, I think the more likely they won't get in the game.
Thistle's last 3 wins have all come while conceding a goal. The previous 6 triumphs in the calendar year of 2012 has come with help from a clean sheet. Morris Malpas is walking in front of his boss. How dare he? But they are a tremendous double act. Terry Butcher and Morris Malpas complement each other.
Good cop, bad cop, Derek. One's good one day, one's good the next day. Oh, you never know what you're getting from the two of them, but certainly work well together and get a good history together.
I was going to say which one's the good cop, which one's the bad cop, but apparently it's changeable. Keep them guessing. Owain Tudor-Jones, so it's fallen nicely for Stevenson. Tried to set Driver free. Warren, Raven. Now Aaron Doran. A tricky player, difficult man to pick up. Holt. Granger wants to settle for the throw.
I think you must give credit to Inverness. You know, defensively they've done very well, Derek. They've stopped crosses coming into the box. They've went and won the headers when they've had to do it. And I think they certainly aren't at their best today.
And the Cali Thistle players drop back. Ryan McGowan. Roberts following him. And Shinnie was there to provide a bit of extra protection. Coming up on ESPN this Wednesday from 7, it'll be Luxembourg against Scotland. Remember, Scotland under Billy Stark for that game. You'll see it live from 7, and next weekend on Saturday, to be exact, from 11:15 in the morning, Aberdeen against Celtic, two teams Billy Stark played for in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League. Forward to the pleasure of your company. Patterson. Low ball in. Andrew Shinnie. David Raven. Now Shinnie. Thistle trying to hit on the counter-attack. Good touch from Mackay. Zaniuka striding forward. And it's Reguero's ball. Hearts at least are starting to ask questions.
They are, Derek, but it's just that final pass again. You know, good reading of the game by Zaniuka. He's striding forward. He's looking for a simple pass, but just can't execute it, and Inverness get off the hook again. But I think a little bit more care in the pass and the decision making can maybe get Hearts in.
Granger. A mini eruption from Terry Butcher in the technical area seconds ago. You remember those mini eruptions?
Yeah, and he's been within, what, a foot of my face sometimes, Derek, just screaming and shouting. But I think he's enthusiastic. I think he's trying to make sure his players don't relax and don't sit off the game, because he knows they're in front. They can make great strides if they get a win today, and he wants to make sure they have 3 points come the final whistle.
Here's Doran. Oh, it's a superb ball. Andrew Shinnie beaten down by McDonald. Andrew Shinnie again, and Tudor Jones. He hit it with ferocity. Came off Zaniukas, and Marius Zaniukas would have felt that. No two ways about it. Richie Foran in this time. All hands on deck for Hearts. Stevenson. Here's Meekings. Thistle can do that to you. Be on the back foot. And then all go forward almost together. And it's Hearts' turn to get men into Thistle territory. Stevenson, Patterson. He couldn't dupe Raven. Doran. You sense, don't you, there's another goal in this game at end of the other.
Certainly do, in the way the games went, Derek, you just feel it's going to come for Inverness.
Holt. Stevenson has positioned himself on the right. Ryan Stevenson. Well, it's ordinary, and that's been charitable.
This is Inverness at the best. This is what Andrew Shinnie wants. Deep running from midfield. Midfield players don't track him. Doran picks him out. Tell you what, it's another good save by Jamie McDonald. He had one off Richie Foran in the first half. He's another one there. There's Tudor Jones. He's got one goal this game. Could he have got a second? Maybe he could have done. In the end, good defending by Hearts, but that's Inverness at their best. Winning the ball, getting their flair players on the ball, and trying to make something happen.
It is an excellent front four, if you want to call it that, Mackay Thistle. It's Mackay spearheading the attack today. Roberts on one flank, Doran on the other. Andrew Shinnie playing just behind Mackay.
You just think, Derek, you know, on their game and when they're playing well, they're as good as any in the league. You know, as good as any front four. They've got pace in the wide areas. They've got the tenacity of Billy Mackay and the industry of Andrew Shinnie.
There's a mistake by Raven. Got away with it. Driver really hasn't got going since coming on. Andrew Driver, he's lost his way a bit. Because in fairness, those horrific injury problems for a couple of years.
You just feel, Derek, sometimes there comes a point in your career where you need a change just to try and refreshen your mind and freshen up your game, play in front of new supporters, have a new challenge. And you can't help but think that this time next year that Andrew Driver won't be a Hearts player.
So the immediate question is, will there be a Hearts football club? Wait for the club off the pitch.
I think it's been a hard week on it as well, Derek. You know, losing in Dundee last week, not playing well today, losing 1-0. So it could just round off what's been a very poor week for Hearts in general.
Webster. His 200th SPL appearance for Heart of Midlothian. Chiseled ball by Webster. Ryan McGowan. Roberts matching him stride for stride. It is a corner to the Jambos.
That's what Hearts need. They need Ryan McGowan on the right-hand side, Danny Granger on the left-hand side, getting forward, trying to get balls in the box, but good defending by young Roberts. He gets himself caught a little bit wrong side, but he sticks at it, he keeps going. And that's good defending from the young man. He's learning the game, he's learning how to attack, he's also learning how to defend.
On the hour mark, Danny Granger with the corner, and it's Zaniukas trying to fire it towards goal, and it comes again. Can Thistle survive? Entry forward, he's prepared to put his body on the line. No surprise there.
That's what the Hearts fans want, Derek. They want something to shout about, something to get excited about, and that's a little bit better. Get the fans on their side, try and get attempts on goal, and try and get themselves back in this game.
Ryan McGowan. Roberts. Hesitancy. Driver. And Foran. Robbing Driver of the ball. Ryan McGowan. Two sets of brothers out there on the pitch now. And Shinnie. The Shinnie brothers taking it away. Dylan McGowan. Driver. Cuts it back. Stevenson with the shot. And Stevenson again. Appealing for a penalty. He thought it was handball. But Willie Collum is having none of that.
This took 61 minutes, Derek, for the Hearts players. They eventually come alive and eventually take part in this game.
And it's Driver. Oh, Reguera pouncing on it. Swirl of energy from Hearts and a shot for handball.
Yeah, this is the big question. Was it a handball? I think it's Ryan Stevenson has the shot. I think if it does hit his hand, it hits his elbow. I think it clearly hits his back, but that's a good decision by Willie Collum. Up with play, but as I said, at last, Hearts have decided to take part. They're giving themselves something to shout about. There you go, the last 5 minutes, 70% possession, and it's been in the Inverness half. That will certainly please John McGlynn.
Hearts showing tenacity. Can they display a bit of composure in front of goal? Dylan McGowan after good work from Holt. Here's Stevenson. Oh, marvellous play by Ryan Stevenson. Now it falls nicely for Roberts. Still a bit raw, Philip Roberts. Stevenson. And Raven. All the way decisively. Gary Warren. I think Philip Roberts is going to be replaced any second now. Pass by Foran. There's the 18-year-old Roberts. Billy Mackay. G. Foran. Lucas, big intervention, an important one.
Now the game's opened up, Derek. Both teams now really going to try and attack, trying to get the goal. Hearts to get back in it, Inverness to go 2 in front.
Dylan McGowan for Heart of Midlothian. Driver takes on Raven. One of the best balls of the day from the Hearts' point of view. Ryan McGowan. Trying to do it on his own, Graham Shinnie. Not there defending for Caledonian Thistle. Stevenson. Holt tries to take charge, the youngster. Caledonian Thistle happy to put it away. It was Gary Warren that time.
And it just won't fall for them. They keep going, they keep probing. That's better. Getting men in the box, getting balls in the box with a little bit of quality. The ball just won't drop for them as we see a substitution. Young Roberts, Terry was on at him in the first half. He's been on his case in the second half as day's finished.
It's a patchy display by Roberts. Terry Butcher hasn't been entirely happy with him. Shane Sutherland will be the replacement. Now this will be his 50th appearance as a substitute in his career. They've all been for County Thistle. A long walk call for Roberts. Well, he does get a pat on the back. That's the way it goes sometimes. Get a bollocking 1 minute and then encouragement the next.
You get that inconsistency with young players, and today's just one of those days where things just weren't falling for him.
Long throw by Ryan McGowan for Hearts. Shane Sutherland scored the goal that gave County Thistle a 1-0 win against Hearts here back in January. Sutherland, who hails from Wick. Ryan McGowan, taken low by the Aussie. Mackay only as far as Marius Zaniukas. Darren Barr. He's increasingly taking the game to County Thistle.
And they are, you know, they're camped in their half, but I think the worrying thing from John McGlynn will be that when you're in top in a game, Derek, you have to try and get your goal, get yourself back in the game when you're in top and when you're dominate possession. Hearts are just struggling to do that.
Raven. Doran, that was a useful outlet. Aaron Doran, Blackburn player. Andrew Shinnie. Here's Raven, taking a couple of touches and then testing McDonald, who concedes the corner.
And that's better play from Inverness. It took them a while in the second half to get into the rhythm, to get men forward, to try and get crosses in. But this is just a little warning to Hearts that as much as you want to attack, as much as you want to attack us, we still carry a threat. That's the message that Inverness are putting across to Hearts. And Hearts, to stay in the game, have to defend this corner well.
Sutherland and Warren in there. Graham Shinnie. Aaron Doran's header. Warren controlling his body to cover up for him. Stevenson. Meekings has gone across. Jason Holt battling. 19-year-old. With a lone spell at Wraith Rovers last season under John McGlynn.
He's played okay, you know, without really making a huge impact in the game. The first half, it kind of passed him by a little bit. Second half, at least he's getting forward a little bit more. He's trying to get up in support of Stevenson and Patterson, trying to get himself in the box. And that's what John McGlynn will want from him.
Well reserved for the away directors. Now has Sergeius Fedotovas gone.
He's just seen enough in the first half, Derek. He's just seen enough of the play. He realised that they were struggling, but at least second half they've come out, they've put up a better fight. They've certainly put in a better performance, but still the scoreline says that they're getting beat 1-0.
News as to when Vladimir Romanov will come to Scotland. Sergeius Fedotovas said hoped it would be soon. Sutherland and offside. Andrew Shinnie. That was borderline. Not an awful lot in it. Willie Conker had his flag up.
This is Inverness at their best, Derek. Always counter-attack football. I think that, I tell you what, that's a very good decision. He's just slightly ahead of Marius Zaliukas, but again, that's the threat that Inverness carry. If you attack us and you come and you push men forward, we've got the threat in the counter-attack, and Hearts have to be wary of that.
Three of the officials on duty today. Willie Collum, Willie Conker, Martin Cryans will be at Poland-Uruguay match in midweek.
And Terry will be thinking, Derek, you know, sometimes you win football matches. I've seen Inverness last week and they passed the ball well, they created lots of chances, they dominated the game. Today it's been a little bit bitty. You know, they've had to dig in, they've had to work hard. And sometimes you win football matches in different ways, and if they could win this game playing like this, I think Terry will be extremely pleased.
Well, Hearts have scored in 14 of the last 15 against Inverness. We need a goal here as we move towards the final 20 minutes. Graham Shinney, another presence for Inverness in the SPL this time. Sutherland, it will be Stevenson's ball. Shinney's going to leave it for Ryan McGowan. 26 goals scored by Caledonian Thistle. Top scorers in the SPL. Here's Barr for Hearts. By Meekings. Into that rather barren area.
You just think, can one of the Hearts players do something different there? Can they produce a little bit of magic, whether it be a cross, whether it be a shot? Can they do something that makes a breakthrough? Because at the minute, they're getting so far, but they just can't get the final one.
Long throw by Ryan McGowan. Away on the volley by Andrew Shinney. And here's Aaron Doran. Zaliukas, he knew he had to make that tackle, knew he had to win the ball. Holt. Barr. Stevenson coolly out to Ryan McGowan. Discomforting Sutherland. Thistle have had a fair bit of defending to do. Still they lead by 1-0. Zaliukas gets ready for the long throw. Raven. Dylan McGowan. Jason Holt. Dylan McGowan, who came on at the start of the second half, as did Andrew Driver. Tawil, the players replaced. Driver. That's more positive. Now Holt. Actually forward back there defending. Zaliukas takes a wild swing at it. So wild it goes out for a throw as opposed to a goal kick.
I think we've just seen why Mario Zaliukas plays centre half, Derek, and not centre forward. But again, it's better play by Hearts, but you just feel as if they're getting so far and they just can't get, you know, I said that little bit of quality, something different to break the Inverness defence down, and they just can't seem to manage it or muster it at the minute.
Tudor Jones is losing out Patterson. Graham Shinney with him. Good tackle by Ryan McGowan. Stevenson took a couple of deflections. Made life very difficult for Reguero. Also got the bit between the teeth.
Yeah, it comes from Inverness again, giving the ball away. Shane Sutherland this time. Ryan McGowan, I mean, you know, let's give him credit. He's had 6 or 7 attempts this afternoon, not all worthwhile, but again, he gets aside a corner.
Granger with the corner. Stevenson's header on. Away by Raven. And Holt on the volley, rushed it.
And this is the difference between the two sides, Derek. The one real bit of quality we've seen in the final third of the pitch all afternoon. Andrew Shinney, we've mentioned it earlier, keeps the ball alive. Tudor Jones, absolute rocket. That is the difference between the sides. And could it be the difference come the 90 minutes? Could it be the huge 3 points that Terry Butcher needs to put aside level at the top of the SPL?
Line Tudor Jones netting his first goal as a Caledonian Thistle player. His first goal for nearly 3 years, all told. Raven. Zaliukas misjudging that. Billy Mackay. The problem solved by Dylan McGowan following the Zaliukas misstep. And Meekings with a header. If you were to go back over the last 6 rounds in the SPL, Caledonian Thistle would be top of the tree. Really have hit form this autumn period.
It's been a remarkable turnaround, Derek, considering they didn't win in their first 7 games in the SPL. Many people thought Big Terry was under pressure, and people were questioning, is he the man to turn things round? And then suddenly your team hits a great run of form, your big players start performing, and before you know it, with what, 15 minutes to go against Hearts, 13th game of the season, you can go top.
Andrew Shinnie. The idea was to spring Doran on the Hearts defence.
Back in, David!
Patterson with Driver over there. Warren shifted over.
I just wonder, is John McGlynn looking at someone like John Sutton, Derek, who's on the bench? You know, put him up there, put balls into them, hit diagonal passes, hit longer passes, try and get crosses in the box. Big John will certainly cause problems for the Inverness back four, but he doesn't seem to want to make it.
Still Patterson. Warren will leave it for Raven. John Sutton is about to come on for Hearts, getting stripped for action. It was a bit tasty, wasn't it? Still in McGowan. Billy Mackay. Here's Aaron Doran. Hitting it completely. Wally Collum is going back now to show the yellow card to Dylan McGowan.
And I don't think you can argue with it. I think initially there it is, good play again by Andrew Shinnie. Dylan McGowan, you can't go in with your stud showing, you can't go in and put in tackles like that and expect to get away with it.
Joined Hearts in 2008 from Para Hill Knights in Australia. Crawford Allen there, the fourth official, supervising the substitution. And Hearts are going to withdraw a midfield player in Darren Barr. And on will come a striker in John Sutton. I suppose it was a bit of a surprise Sutton didn't start this game. I say that because Thistle are just about his favourite opponents. He scored 9 goals in 20 games against Inverness in his career.
Yeah, you know, and when you have records like that, Derek, sometimes strikers especially, they enjoy playing against the side, they have success against the side, and John will be hoping to make a difference with 15 minutes to go.
Andrew Shinnie. Thistle looking for the second goal that might put this to bed.
I think the worry for Terry will be the longer it goes 1-0, the more, you know, there's still a likelihood of Hearts can get back in it, a long ball over the top, a mistake from one of his players, and suddenly your 3 points can turn into 1, so he'll be aware of that.
David Raven in no particular hurry. 13 minutes left in the Highlands. Doran will be very unpredictable. Sutherland in there. Tried to drag it back. Ball had gone out. And Terry Butcher is with Ailey Barber.
Terry, still shouting from here. Is it the same problem, the ball retention that's still worrying you at the moment?
Well, giving it away, we've won it well. We've looked to threaten the break all the time, but we've just given the ball away too easy at times. So Hearts have got something up front now. They're going to go route one, I think, and we just got to stand firm if we can.
Creating chances, is it the final ball that's letting you down?
Yeah, final ball. We're trying to hit the killer pass too early. We just need to retain possession a bit better, but it's not over yet. I know that.
Cheers, Terry.
Thank you.
Thistle boss, Terry Butcher. Certainly a long way from being over. Hearts have been pressing for most of the second half. Same old story though, nothing happening in front of goal for the Jambos. Raven. And Dylan McGowan. Here's Meekings. In glorious Highland sunshine now, here at the Caledonian Stadium.
I think it's glorious if you're an Inverness fan, an Inverness player, Derek. I don't think it's so glorious if you're a Hearts fan or a Hearts player. You know, yes, they've improved slightly in the second half, but you know, you're talking about having sustained pressure. They have done at times, but I don't think Reguero has really had a save to make of any kind of note. So I think that tells it all for me.
Still just the 4 goals in away matches for Hearts this season. 6 games on their travels prior to this one. Zaliukas and McDonald. Hits the roof of the Jock McDonald stand. Takes a bit of doing.
I think when you're struggling to score goals, Derek, and then when you go behind, I think the mentality from players is they kind of, you know, because you know you struggle to get yourself back in your games, you struggle to carry a threat, and that's been the look of the Hearts players for me.
It's a very unusual ground, this. It's not a Caledonian Stadium, so close to the Murray Firth, the Keswick Bridge. It's not one of the modern symmetrical grounds that you see all over Europe nowadays, but it's a ground that has character. You tend to prefer to be playing here or commentating here when the weather is agreeable.
Yeah, it's certainly nicer. I mean, we were here for the Highland Derby and the wind, the rain was blowing. Cracking game, but it wasn't a great night for commentary.
Graham Shinney, Sutherland couldn't quite keep us in. 10 minutes left. Knights who have won just 3 SPL matches so far this season. Took on by Sutton. Thistle happy to take the time. Only side to score in every single match in the SPL this season. Taking part in. Patterson. Doing an amazing run. Callum Patterson, the 18-year-old. Now Andrew Driver. It's Stevenson. And they keep running into brick walls. Ran into Tudor Jones that time. Ryan McGowan. And it speeds away from Holt.
Again, they get so far, Derek, don't you? You just think something's going to happen. Something's going to open up, and then there's an Inverness defender blocks it and puts it away and clears it. So, as much as Hearts have struggled to get through, I think credit must go to Inverness. Terry Butcher as a centre-half, Maurice Malpass as a former left-back. They love clean sheets. They used to drill into defenders. Clean sheets means no defeats, and that's what he'll be expecting today.
Patterson. Now Granger, up goes Sutton. Well, the timing wasn't perfect. But John Sutton applauding the Granger ball from the left flank.
That's the threat John Sutton gives you, Derek. It means now you can throw balls in from a little bit deeper. Terry said route one, but especially in where there's throw the ball in. Big John will go against Warren. He'll go against Meekings. He'll get himself in there. He'll try and get across the first defender as he just done. A little bit unfortunate, couldn't keep his header down, but he certainly gives him a different option.
Forward, pushing it through the legs of Stevenson. There's Ryan McGowan. Now Patterson. Difficult one for Regano. He got his fingertips to the ball, the Spaniard. And that was crucial in the grand scheme of things. Granger. Sutton at the far post. Also making Cali Thistle work for this. Dylan McGowan and John Sutton. There's one of the players in there. So too Patterson. And it grinds to a halt.
I think Hearts were claiming for a free kick in the edge of the box. I think Dylan McGowan was just caught late. The ball eventually went into the box and it ended up going out for a goal kick, but I think the Hearts players are a little bit frustrated with Willie McCollum. You see here, I think it's Shane Sutherland goes in. I think they're claiming he was caught late. Willie McCollum didn't give the free kick, played on, tried to give Hearts the advantage. The ball then goes out for a goal kick.
Stevenson. Sutton helping the ball on its way. Meekings went in bravely. Patterson was bearing down on him. Raven. Oh, that was coolly done by David Raven. Zaliukas. Time of the essence for Hearts. Jason Holt. And it will be a corner.
And this is a little bit, this is another chance for Hearts to get a ball in the box. John Sutton's on Ryan Stevenson, Zaliukas, Webster, McGowan. They've got a great physical presence. The ball has to be right and has to be in the right area.
Here's Danny Granger. Well, it's Graham Shinney able to get that away with ease.
It's not the first time, Derek, to be honest, that Danny Granger's hit the first man. His deliveries all afternoon have been very poor.
Zaliukas. Marius Zaliukas firing it towards goal, trying to get out of the way of referee Willie Collum, who helps Richie Foran back up onto his feet.
He's certainly tried his part, Zaliukas, hasn't he? He's worked hard, he's trying to get beyond strikers, he's getting up and trying to join in, he's trying to get aside a goal, but just lacks that little bit of quality to do it.
Gavin Morrison is going to make an appearance for Inverness. Cali Thistle. Andrew Shinnie will be withdrawn. Well, full of running today. In the words of the Kilmarnock manager, Kenny Shields, Andrew Shinnie, the best SPL player there is at the minute. Gavin Morrison, the Invernessian local boy, his 10th appearance of the campaign. A move here just to keep things tight for the last few minutes.
It's good management, Derek. I think it's consolidation. He's put an extra centre midfield player in there now. It's not a direct 4-3-3, just to stiffen it up, just to try and see the game out, because he senses that Hearts are starting to dominate midfield. They're starting to put more men forward, so good tactical change by Terry Butcher.
Terry Butcher hoping to guide Cali Thistle to another win. This is not what John McGlynn wanted to see today. It's trailing, chasing. At a time when minds are concentrated on other matters, very important matters off the pitch. Now Stevenson. Patterson. Going to go back more than 4 years for the last time Hearts suffered 3 successive away defeats in the league. That statistic is staring them in the face at the moment. So we have a free kick. And the Jambos will get the heavy artillery forward.
Yeah, it's okay putting them forward, but Danny Grange, as I said earlier, has to put a ball in there, has to give them something to go and attack. Will it be better this time?
It's Granger. Again, not the best. Away by Doran. Mackay is the player pursuing for Cali Thistle. Dylan McGowan back to McDonald. Can Hearts pull something out of the fire? Rangers pass towards Patterson. Leaking's getting stuck in. Patterson fell a bit awkwardly. Ryan McGowan, that long throw, good one too. Who wants it here for Hearts? It's very messy. Stevenson. It was almost schoolboy stuff for a second, wasn't it? Granger. Sort of thing we remember from our days on the school playground, primary 7. Everybody going for the ball at once.
Who can forget it?
Now Raven.
It just won't drop for them, Derek. You know, their ball's bouncing about, it's bobbing about. A little bit of luck sometimes it deserts you when you're struggling. I think Hearts have found that in the second half especially.
Danny Granger winding himself up for this long throw. Sutton looking to cause havoc. There's a big shot! Penalty! Just a boost. Hearts a bit low than needed. With problems mounting off the pitch. A chance for them to salvage here in Inverness.
And that's a big call from Willie Collum. I think Tudor Jones hasn't seen young Callum Patterson. His eyes are constantly on the ball. Patterson nicks it. He brings him down, and Willie Collum is right on the spot, and he's decided it's a penalty kick.
Ryan Stevenson chose this venue for his first Hearts goal. He was about to take it. It's going to be Marius Zaliukas, apparently. That was all a bit confusing. It will be left to the captain, Marius Zaliukas. Perfectly converted. You can see what it means to him. And it means a lot to the Hearts supporters, certainly not to Terry Butcher though. Thistle were in control. But it's a big maroon moment at the end of the game, and it's 1-1.
And just what you want, a little bit of composure. Up steps your captain, sends a goalkeeper the wrong way. Have they deserved to draw their second half performance? That's what the penalty kicks for. Very, very soft in my eyes, Derek. Very, very soft, but is that a little bit of luck that Hearts needed?
Well, Thistle had been forced back for long periods of the second half. Still can carry a menace, counter-attacks, and it's foreign, and it could have gone anywhere. Granger swiveling around.
And it's a good strong run from Richie Foran. He hasn't done enough for me in the second half. Gets beyond the strikers, gets the ball in. Can Inverness suddenly flip it? Can they get a winner, Derek, in injury time?
Aaron Doran with the delivery. Oh, it was close. Warren trying to get his head to the ball. Sutherland in there too. And the outcome is another corner to Inverness. Furious finish to this game. Doran trying to get there, but Foran playing it back in. Mackay, Billy Mackay, and McDonald away. High hanging ball, and Jamie McDonald is going to get a bit of protection here from Willie Collum. More than 1 minute now into added time. We've been promised a minimum of 3 minutes. Sutherland. Here's Foran. Not the ideal ball for Billy Mackay. Zaniukas. And the play it goes.
I think Terry will be furious that it took a side to concede a penalty to get a little bit of urgency into the play. There's as if they were waiting for it to happen in the second half. He'll be furious they've conceded, Derek.
Well, Sutton is chasing with Warren. Given the extent of Hearts' pressure, draw probably merited. Not sure Terry Butcher will see it that way.
He certainly showed more of an appetite for the game in the second half, Derek. I think that's what will please John McGlynn and the good Southern Hearts fans. They showed more of an appetite to go and try and make something happen in the game.
Last few seconds now. Inverness Thistle will be kicking themselves. They were in control. Going from Owain Tudor Jones, which was right out of the top drawer. But level pegging now. And Ryan McGowan. There is Regano. Hearts are beating in the Highlands. John McGlynn's team with the late equaliser, the Zaniukas penalty, after Tudor Jones with a corker had given Terry Butcher's side the lead. It finishes Inverness 1, Heart of Midlothian 1.
Thanks to Derek and Stephen. Here's a look at the updated SPL table. Inverness with a point, stay in third, just 2 points behind the leaders. Hearts stay in 10th as well. Craig Gordon, Craig Burley here in the studio with me. What did you think at the end? Hearts, a penalty?
Oh, definitely a penalty. I think it was just a bit of a swing from Tudor Jones, and I think he'll be frustrated. I think Terry will be frustrated, but it's a good point for Hearts.
Good point.
Yeah, I think they showed a lot more urgency second half. Probably deserved it on the second half performance to get something. It was just that urgency. There wasn't any great play, but just the urgency to get something out of the game was what counted in the end for Hearts.
Absolutely. Hearts fought hard. They got a point, but their battle for survival continues off the park this week.